Hello, everyone. It's Drop Frame Sunday. Welcome to it. I can't believe it's May. It's May tomorrow. What the fuck?
Somebody's gonna say it. You gotta say it, right? I'll do it. Ready? It's gonna be May.
Nice. I was waiting for it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. That's Co's response to Justin Timberlake. Just a sweet release. He just loves him so much.
Yeah. Oh man, I tell you, that felt good.
He
right.
loves his lake. He loves his tea lake. What's your favorite?
The thing is, I don't know like that many memes off the top of my head. That's just one of them that I remember. So I'm like, I'm gonna jump right on that. Get that out of the way.
Yeah. I just can't believe that it's already like. What happened to March? What did March happen? I don't remember anything that happened in March. I couldn't tell you a damn thing. What games came out in March? I don't know. Resident Evil 4? No, it didn't. That game's not out. The Last of Us?
My wife's birthday's in March.
Oh, okay.
It's the anniversary of when Caesar got stabbed. The Ides of March.
Oh, very important. Yeah. You got to celebrate Caesar. He's great. You're talking about the dog whisperer, right? That's who got stabbed?
Yeah, Caesar Milan. Yes.
Man, someone took him out. Fucking, you got to watch out there, Mr. Milan. It's crazy out there for those dog whisperers.
He didn't train the humans well enough. Because he rehabilitates dogs.
That's right. Oh, man. It's been a week in the world of video games, to say the least. The biggest news, Star Wars. It's been everywhere, and not for a good reason.
Best reasons.
Yeah. There's been little news outside of that. Mostly it's all like sales related stuff. I didn't realize this. Little Nightmares 1 and 2 been out for a very long time. A handful of years, let's say. They sold 12 million copies. That seems
together. Both together.
12 million copies. That
seems
crazy.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's wild. That's so many. I didn't expect
copies.
Yeah, that's so. It's insane.
Good for them. That game is great.
The thing is, it's a good for them. Great game.
Yeah.
Great pair of games.
Yeah.
I think the reason for that is it's gorgeous. Everybody, it's not complex. There's nothing like to get about it. It's very much it very much plays on the people's love of like Tim Burton style of stuff. And that's, people that loved Tim Burton back in the day, like are growing up and have money now.
Right.
And they're showing this like they're enjoying it themselves and showing it to their kids. It's gorgeous. Anybody can pick it up. It's I think
it's on like all the platforms too.
A little spooky.
Yeah.
But it's not too spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy though. 12 million copies.
Rides that line, man.
Right.
It's fits right in.
Persona 5 Royale put out some numbers. They're at 3.2 million copies since April. So I don't know what they sold April 2022. So I don't know what they sold prior to that, but Game Pass and PC launch was a huge boon for them. Dead Island 2 surpassed 1 million. So it seems to have done pretty well. Wo Long Fallen Dynasty sold over 1 million and reached, they kind of put out a different press release. Sold over 1 million and reached over 3.8 million players. So I think that's the Game Pass effect right there.
Reached being the new keyword, I guess.
Yeah, reached is the important word there.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of important.
It's gonna be one of those business jargon buzzwords. It's like, all right, but what is their reach?
Yeah,
that's exactly we know how much you sold, but how much did you reach?
That's exactly right.
Let's table this for now. Circle back around. We're gonna have a powwow.
Need a little more synergy first, though. I think
100%. Here, let me ask you a question. What's worse, business jargon or Zoomer talk in a business meeting? Because I've had both, and I know which one I despise more.
I think Zoomer talk pretty terrible. Zoomer talk.
I was in a meeting and I got called an OG for real on a stack is what I was told, and I was just like, and this was by I don't mind saying it. This was by an agent who I was talking to, and that's how they referred to me. And I was like, motherfucker, you're barely 20. Like, why the fuck are you saying this? Stop talking to me like that. I was very, very upset in that moment.
JP, that's not being the goat, sir.
No, it was not. For real.
The thing is, it's a choice though. Like, because I remember when I was growing up, in high school, everybody has their own generational jargon, their own generational, things that they say and stuff. And you have to like make a conscious effort to fall into that. And I don't remember ever being that person who would pepper in jargon in my, daily speech.
Yeah.
Like it never became something. It was always a joke. I always said it ironically, like
that's how it starts.
Never seriously, yeah.
That is how it starts. Yeah.
I'm being ironic. Oh no, then it just bleeds into everything, and all of a sudden you are what you hate.
Yeah. This is how you know you're old, by the way, when you start referring to Zoomer speak. By the way, that's I've learned that. So, congrats, we're old. We've done it. It's happened.
I think we should just go all the way back and start saying things like the cat's pajamas and shit like that. I actually had a phase. I'm not kidding you. I had a phase in my life where about a year where I was trying to, instead of using like the jargon of the day, I was trying to use like, I guess the swing era jargon, like cats and kitties, daddy-o. Like I would say that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Trying to go back and say that stuff. And I still say cat from time to time when I'm talking about a person. Like this cat over here.
You were just bringing it back?
I guess.
Yeah.
I was bringing sexy back.
Yeah,
you were
trying to.
God, is that the second Justin Timberlake?
Justin Timberlake, man.
Come on, man. There's got to be a limit to this or something.
It's all over the place.
There's no limit, man.
There's no limit to T-Lake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he do a country album? Isn't that a thing? Wasn't his most recent album like country biased? Okay, let's move on.
What the fuck is an album, JP?
That they still call it that. It's still a thing.
Do they? Okay.
Yeah. He's from Memphis. Okay. All right. Glad we got that figured out. We're talking all about game numbers and releases and sales. This one's kind of crazy. So Genshin Impact, Hoyoverse is the developers behind that. They released the new game called Honkai Star Rail. It's like a JRPG type deal that came out this past week. 20 million downloads in the first 24 hours is where they're currently sitting. They haven't put out any more information, but 20 million downloads. That's fucking bananas.
It's the Genshin effect.
That's crazy. That's insane. I don't even think a game like Grand Theft Auto, I don't think even reached 20 million in its first day. It's insane. It's too many people. It's so many things. Everyone in my chat saying it's actually pretty good, but I haven't played it. It's a JRPG with gacha elements for those curious. So
okay.
Yeah, it's got like some auto battling stuff in it, but 20 million. It's wild.
Have you guys ever felt the pull of gambling? I'm serious. I'm being absolutely serious. Like the pull of gambling, meaning like part of you, like you're doing the activity, whatever it may be, and your brain goes, you should stop now.
I don't think so. I've definitely felt the pull of like I would say the dopamine effect of like a social media or a TikTok, like doom scrolling. I feel that. Sure. I think that's kind of similar. Gambling obviously is, with money and can like maybe a little bit more serious than that, but yeah. I purposefully have never like stepped inside of a casino and started gambling because I do think it would be a bad time for me.
Speaking from a place of experience, like I get why people like download at 20 million, like there's 20 million people out there because it's one of the strongest pulls. If it gets you, it's one of the strongest things that I've ever experienced. Thankfully, I don't live near any of that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not as easy to gamble where I am now. Like I could go online, but it's not, it's not the same kind of thing.
Right.
But like, I'll tell you, man, dude, like it was the weird dopamine, serotonin, whatever it gives you, whatever that, pressing the button, pulling the arm, whatever it gives you.
Yeah. The chemical
Holy
response.
shit, dude. Yeah. Like stopping doing that is, just it's as hard or harder than most other addictions out there.
Yeah. I think I actually get that from like people describing stories about them gambling. Like I'll get secondhand chemical response to that. I was watching a video about John Daly, who was on a $5,000 slot machine. So like each pull was $5,000. And he was talking about that and how much I think he hit like 2.8 million or something, but he spent like 7 or something on it. But
yeah,
7 million.
Yeah. He's John.
No, it's
John Daly's the animal. If you know who that is, he's a wild person.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
He's got some money.
And I'll say this, like for someone who is financially comfortable, it doesn't hit the same.
What?
It hits
levels of money, you mean?
If you're gambling and it's you have to up this, you have to keep up with things if you're doing well in life. Like I remember like the feeling of it when I was living, I had a decent job.
Yeah.
But I was definitely like looking at my bank account going, okay, I can draw $200 more.
Jeez.
And if I don't win, I have to call my landlord and be like, can I be late on the rent? It hits weird, man. It's the gambling.
I didn't realize
thing.
you were that in.
Yeah. For a little bit, I was.
Well, I'm glad you got out. I'm glad you got out.
Me too.
I didn't realize it was that bad.
There was that huge public outcry just a little bit ago when there was a streamer who got in the hole and then dug deeper and deeper and deeper and was asking all his friends for money and then eventually was just like, can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'm completely out of money and I owe everyone money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's that.
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. No, I think he was on Kick gambling recently.
He went to Kick. Yep.
So I don't know if he learned his lesson. I think he just got
went
bailed
to
out,
Kick
but...
and started gambling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
sorry about that, guys.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to derail the conversation into something non-gaming related. It was adjacent to what we were talking about, I guess. I just needed someone to talk to.
In almost 400 episodes of doing this show, I have never cared about what the topic matter is. You should know that by now. We could talk about whatever you want. But yeah, don't be careful gambling out there, I guess. Be careful gotcha.
And most importantly, little bit of real talk. If any of what we said hits home at all to you, please keep in mind there's lots of free help you can get to conquer this stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
It's a very serious problem.
Yeah,
exactly. What else happened in the world of news? Here's a shocker. Sony's confirmed that more PlayStation games are coming to PC. Surprising no one, because they're making a shit ton of money from it.
Give us Bloodborne.
I think Ghost of Tsushima's back next, not back, but
give us Bloodborne. Give us Bloodborne.
I don't know if we'll ever see Bloodborne. That would be surprising.
Armored Core 6 is coming out on PC, I think, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, all of the apart from Bloodborne, is there anything that's like locked to a console from software? I don't. Demon Souls, I guess, is locked to a console. That's PlayStation only. But yeah, Bloodborne, sure. I think that's maybe the most requested. But Ghost of Tsushima, if you guys remember playing that game still is one of the best looking games out there. I would love to see that running on a PC.
That'd be very nice.
And then of course, like you have Zero Horizon. The new Horizon would probably come out
my god, I cannot wait to play that on PC. Yeah. I cannot wait. I just did the DLC recently.
Yeah.
And oh man. Especially the last part of the DLC is going to be completely next level on PC.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Hopefully they're better than Last of Us 1. Part 1, rather. That PC launch was bad. What were we going to say, Zeke?
How about a PC remake of all the core Metal Gear games? How about that?
That's in Konami's hands.
Probably Sony.
Oh, that's not Sony. That's right.
Yeah. Konami does love
even
money.
then,
though.
I mean,
sorry,
like a lot of the older Metal Gears, it wouldn't really benefit from that, you know? Like it's not, it wouldn't be too different.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, some of those remakes are like MGS1 remake is a pretty good looking game. If you put that up, I don't even know if it runs 4K native on like a PS4 or PS5, but it would look pretty good.
Yep.
They got to do something with.
I
not
like
wrong.
just the saga, like the entire saga, all made in the same kind of style, updated.
Yeah,
Metal Gear 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'd be down.
Well, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. You could probably leave out a couple of the
side ones.
Side ones.
Absolutely, yeah. And then that's kind of the other big thing I should say, apart from all that, is we got that Armored Core 6 gameplay trailer that came out. I had never played. We haven't really talked too much about Armored Core. Co, I know you're super excited for it. And you have reverence for it because you played the other ones. Me and Zeke, I don't think have. I know I haven't. I don't want to speak for Zeke, but I don't think he's played Armored Core. Can you explain to me, like, what the combat is, Co? Like, what?
Okay, so for the record, I played Armored Core like a very long time ago.
Yeah.
And it made me realize somebody in chat was like, so what's the story in Armored Core? And I was like, big stompy robot. And that was like, that was it. And then watching the gameplay trailer, like it was just, I didn't recognize a single thing outside of like the gameplay. The thing about Armored Core that I love so much is growing up, there were two styles of mech gameplay.
Yeah.
There was the slow, methodical, kind of like a more realistic mech warrior. And then there was the very arcadey sci-fi version of like Virtua On and Armored Core. And Armored Core was one of the pioneers of like that really, like you've got thrusters all over your mech, you're zipping back and forth, like things have good weight to them, but at the same time are very fast. That's the big thing about Armored Core. There's not a lot of games like this that come out. Also the customization. I remember, I think I spent more time customizing my stuff than playing in a lot of times. Like the customization of the game is just absolutely next level. So the big thing about Armored Core is not only is it kind of a one of those just beloved old franchises, but it really does stuff that other games haven't really touched since, like having very complex customization, having super zippy, large mechanical mech style gameplay. Like, there's just not a lot of games that do this stuff. So for fans of the franchise, it's definitely something to look forward to and something to get excited about too. And I gotta be blunt. Watching the gameplay, it looked cool, but at the same time, like there were parts of it where like it looked okay. It didn't look great. There were parts of it that looked okay. Like, you know, some of the environments were just like super empty, and the mech didn't look quite as good as I was hoping for how long it's not been out. And you know, there were just times when it looked okay. I'm sure I'm gonna absolutely love it because again, the graphics and presentation are not the main reason a lot of people play Armored Core. It's kind of the gameplay mechanics and the customization and stuff. So, but overall, I mean, it's still, the set pieces are awesome. The giant bosses are freaking awesome. Like it's a very cool world to play in.
It looks pretty. I'll say that much. I'm not seeing a UI here, so I don't know. We can kind of see like how it's going to play, but I'd never seen any. That looks wild. Absolutely crazy with those rockets right there.
Oh, a big part of it is over the top mecha effects.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of.
It really is just like,
yeah, a lot of visual confetti, in like a good way. If they're, and those type of shots like that also are just phenomenal looking.
It has made me realize I need to figure out if I can slot in a previous playthrough because it's been decades since I played Armored Core. So yeah, it's something I gotta get at least a little bit more reacquainted.
Chat was saying that the devs did an interview with IGN, and the lead dev says that it has nothing to do with any of the other Armored Core from a story perspective. So you don't have to get caught up on that. But yeah. Chat was saying also play Armored Core 4. I guess that was on the Xbox or something. I had never seen any of those games though, so I'd always heard about them, but I never played them. But for you to say that they're like a fast pace, I see Gundam when I look at that, and so I'm kind of on board.
Mm-hmm. They're much more Gundam, much less Mech Warrior.
Yeah, that seems great. And then we got a release date, the end of August, right with everything else.
This game comes out a week later, Baldur's Gate 3, a week later, Starfield.
Yeah. It's pretty good 3 weeks, but that's a lot of games. It's a lot of gaming.
And that's just what we have announced now.
This year's been crazy so far. I mean, we're in April. We're not even in a month from now is when when it gets real crazy, I feel. July's a little bit of a slump, as it were, in terms of the releases, but then it kicks right back up.
Thank God, I could hibernate a little bit.
Yeah. Then we'll probably get all the games. Whatever comes out this fall, I don't even know. Outside of the August rush you just mentioned, I don't even know what else is slated to come out off the top of my head.
We got Rebirth at the end of the year.
That's probably a holiday release or November release.
Yeah. Rebirth is, remind me?
Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The next iteration after remake.
Spider-Man 2. I also forgot about that. That's supposed to come out in September if those leaks are to be believed. Alan Wake 2. Is Alan Wake 2 scheduled for this year? Is that? I didn't think that was.
Yeah. We looked that up before, and I remember saying, yeah, it's coming out. I think it's this year, kind of a thing.
Got it. Well, we'll see. We'll be covering it all. Let's talk the big news of the week and talk a little bit about the game, because I think we all played it. Jedi Survivor launched to, let's just say, kind of it's a trash fire. Digital Foundry put out their video yesterday. And the Digital Foundry video straight up said that this game needs to be taken off of Steam and should not be sold in its current state. That is how aggro they were on the current state of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I think all of us played and we were getting okay performance, but about the same as everyone else.
I was getting playable performance, as I called it. Playable. There are three stages of performance. There is unplayable, as in I cannot play this game. It is either nausea-inducing or something's wrong with it. Then there is playable, which is I'm not going to be happy about this, but I'll do it if I have to. And then there's like good performance. And Survivors is like firmly between unplayable and playable for me most of the time. The viewers were especially telling me that like there were times when for some reason, and I talked to you a little bit about this, JP. Apparently they were seeing it in a lot of times less than I was, which makes me wonder if my G-Sync monitor, which they don't see, maybe was like making it a little bit more bearable for me or something.
Yeah.
But today I got to, I'm not going to spoil it, but today I got to a level where the performance stopped being playable. It got to a point where it was like the frames were skipping so much and there was so much jittering that there are these robots that fire like a blast of lasers, and then they'll do the super quick charge up.
Oh, the B2s.
Fire something. The B2s.
They suck.
And there are I came across 2 of those, and I was chunking so hard that they would power up and fire that before I would see it.
Wow. Okay.
So it'd be like blah, 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 bam, and I would be hit. So like I wouldn't even have a chance to dodge it. And it's already the timing on those, especially on I think hardest difficulty makes it a little rough, but the timing on those is already ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it was really frustrating. I also think it got to a point where it was almost like skipping inputs. Like I used 2 lightsaber mode, which means I should at any point be able to hit block and cancel what I do. It's the point of the stance is you can cancel out. And there would be times when it just wouldn't work. I would literally be holding block, and I think that I would be pressing it in between one of these skips, and it wouldn't register.
Yeah.
So my character, I would think that I was blocking. I'd be holding the button, but my character would be standing there not doing anything, and then I'd get hit, and I was just like, "What the hell?" Obviously, it's a skill issue, but it's
I think that's a game engine. I think that's how the game is designed. And I have my own issues outside of like tech purposes when it comes to that. But yeah, that stuff is frustrating without a doubt.
Yeah. Because the hardest difficulty on this game is very, very difficult from a timing perspective. You need to have decent frame rate. You need to not be hitching to be able to properly parry. And the parry window you can see on the difficulty is like 3 pixels long. It's like it's designed to be super difficult. So you can't have a game that's like variable frame rating through fights and then hitching on top of that. It's just like, it's a lesson in patience. So funny enough, I'm going to tell my little story. I don't know. Yeah, I think I told you this. So I'm going to tell my little story. So in an attempt to optimize my system, I found out about the resize bar. And interestingly enough,
I'd never heard of this.
And go, I'd never heard of this either. So if you right click on your NVIDIA control panels and that pops up in the bottom left, there's a little system info thing. You click that, it pops open a window and there's a setting that says resize bar, yes or no. Mine was on no. Now, apparently this has something to do with VRAM and being able to go outside of 256 and utilize more resources, etc., whatever. It resizes a bar, I guess. I don't know. But the TLDR is that if you have that on, supposedly it helps survivors run better. So I'm gonna say something now that some of the people on the stream, I neglected to mention on stream this morning. So what I did was I went into my BIOS, because you have to go into your computer's, your Mobo's BIOS to turn this on. And sure enough, I had a resize bar enabled or disabled in my BIOS. So I go into my BIOS, I find that one option, I tap my keyboard to change it, and then I hit F12. And without really looking at that, I look back at chat, I hit yes, okay. Now, what happened is for some reason, when I turned on rebar, and then I hit F12, there was a list of about 9 things where it was like, so we're going to change this to this, and this to this, and we're going to change the voltage on this, and we're going to enable this, and we're going to disable this. And I was like, oh, I'm sure that's just all associated with the rebar stuff, whatever. I think I might have accidentally enabled an overclocking profile or something, because I then spent the next hour figuring out when my computer was in a blue screen loop, and then immediately blue screening within 5 minutes of gameplay. And the worst part is, because I had no idea what I changed, I didn't know what to fix.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a mess. Thankfully, I have since gone in and changed back to defaults, which changed a few things around, increased some memory caps and stuff. So I'm hoping that will now work okay. But after now, all my performance is shot. Because funny enough, when I did get the game running a little bit with the resize bar on, it absolutely was running better.
Really?
It absolutely was running better. Even the stream was like, this looks better. And more importantly, that part of the level I was chunking through, it was not chunking in that anymore.
Damn, I might have to
so
mess around with that.
It's interesting. So looking into it, before any of you try to resize your bar, there's a whole NVIDIA knowledge base entry. You want to make sure, first of all, you have the right chipsets. Second of all, you have the compatible chipsets, because some don't work with others. Then you have to make sure that your FBIOS, SBIOS is updated on your card. And you need to make sure your BIOS on your motherboard is the latest version. There's a lot of gotchas that you're going to want to look through.
That's wild that it's like, hey, to get Star Wars Jedi Survivor running better, go to your BIOS. Change some shit on your PC.
So granted, I got to say, after years of doing CD-ROM-a-thon and doing troubleshooting and all this kind of shit, there are 2 words that I know if I say during one of those, like, I'm trying to make this game work streams, if I say the word BIOS or registry, like, I can feel IT but guys going like the hackles go up on the back of their neck. They're like, you sure you want to be messing with that, bud?
Well, that's what I did when Code told me that earlier. I was like, why the fuck were you in your BIOS? Did you turn on XMP or turn it off?
I can imagine Zeke. Let me just break out my hex editor here and get my. I'm just gonna go into the system.
One time did I hex edit. One time it worked. Thankfully, it was a very easy step-by-step process. But everybody in chat was just like the fucking mission control in Apollo 13, waiting to hear back from the ship. Like, they're in the dark zone now. Let's see. They're going to be out of communication for the next 3 minutes. And then 3 minutes goes by. They're like, fuck, what happened?
Not good.
Yeah. It's been, but anyway, so the TLDR, what I'm trying to say is, you guys for making me brick my computer for releasing this buggy shit. Don't get me wrong. It was my fault, completely. But again, if the game ran well, it's kind of their fault too.
Yeah.
If it was a good game, I wouldn't have broken it myself. So anyway, just throwing that out there.
And watching like all of the different, but specifically the Digital Foundry thing, like there are settings in the options that just don't do anything.
Yep.
They just don't change anything. But they're there. Like they said it's like the bare bones option stuff from like UE4 is how they described it, and they didn't like they just don't do anything. And they went on like to show the different resolutions all running at the same time with like different settings, blah blah blah, and it didn't affect the FPS whatsoever on like most of their tests.
It seriously seems like a lot of the options just weren't connected.
Yeah.
It seems like all these things that you are normally able to adjust, they just don't work. They don't work at all.
Yeah.
It's interesting because people were telling me like I was having problems with performance, and people were in my channel going, well, Zeke's playing on Epic, maybe try bumping it up. And I was like, well, I'm going to put it on Epic, but I'm sure this is just going to make it even worse. I put it on Epic and I was like, is it running a little better? Like it's so weird. It's such a strange situation where it just nothing really makes sense with it.
The thing they put out, I have it in front of me.
Their statement? It's even more ridiculous.
Statement.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Dude.
Players using cutting-edge multi-threaded chipsets designed for Windows 11 were encountering problems on Windows 10 or high-end GPUs coupled with lower-performing CPUs. Also saw unexpected frame loss. Rest assured, we are working to address these cases quickly. So,
hold on, real quick. Before we leave that, can you read the line that says percentage in it?
Yeah, it's in the opening of their.
Oh, sure, I'll read the first part. Okay, I'll read the whole thing. We are aware that Star Wars Jedi Survivor isn't performing to our standards for a certain percentage of our PC players.
Okay, here's the thing.
In particular, those with high-end machines or certain specific configurations.
Well, this brings up a really interesting question, and I think that this is seriously something we need to talk about. Is 100% a percentage?
Yeah. Well, and that's
because that has to be one of the most ridiculous things. We understand a percentage of our player base. Every single person, 100% of players. There's no one playing this beautifully. No one is playing this game beautifully. No one. So it's like a percentage? That makes it sound like it's like 5% or 7%. But like a percentage?
Yeah.
Like,
well,
that I hate seeing good companies like Respawn use flagrant PR speech.
100%.
It's just it's insulting, it's demeaning. It's like who reads that and is like, "Oh, it's only a percentage." Great. Well, good job, guys. It's only a percentage. It's just like it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating.
It's 100%.
Well, okay. Let me converse that just a little bit, okay? When I was playing it, it seemed fine. There was
how dare you?
No, I know. I'm just saying like it seemed okay for me until I got to a certain busy area of the game. And then I started noticing frame rate drops, some stuttering and stuff like that. But up to that point, it seemed fine. Now, as an addendum to that, I started playing it offline. I restarted my own, just off-stream play because I wanted to play at the hardest difficulty because, whatever, I hate myself. But
I
started playing it again. And I was experiencing from the jump.
Yeah, Coruscant is pretty rough.
Frame rate drops.
Yep.
It was also weird because I went through all of Coruscant the first time through just fine. And then I restarted and started playing again. And I was noticing just stuttering, like 30 FPS, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I didn't change anything. I don't know what the fuck happened.
And even stranger, in the first planet, where with the bar and Grease and everything. I guess people know that from the trailer. But so you're in that first area, you do that whole area, and then you get the ship. And I ran through and did that whole thing, and just like you, it was okay. I leave the planet and come back. The second I get off that ship and run into the bar, it's just like and it's just I was just here, man. This just worked.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do? Like, how did you break it that quickly?
Yep.
And also, there's a known memory leak also. So if you leave the game on or play it for a long period of time, you will start chunking frames. It's the kind of thing where you will like get to a rest point. You'll get up, walk forward, chunk, close the game down, open it back up, that exact same location, pick it up. Oh, and you just walk on like it's nothing. It's tough, man. It's got memory leak. It's got options that don't work. It has optimization issues. It really is a game that needed another 3 to 6 months, I'd say. It's interesting because optimization is generally the last thing you do in a game dev cycle. You get all of your base components working, you get all your graphics in, you get everything nice, and then you spend the last chunk. Now that everything's done and you know what you need to optimize, you spend the last chunk optimizing. This game feels like Cyberpunk. Without, even though Cyberpunk was missing stuff, it feels like that, where they were just told, okay, this game's coming out in this many months, just do as much as you can.
Yeah.
Like, we know you're not going to finish it, just do as much as you can. And now we have this, like, basically, like, the last portion of the game dev of this game just didn't really happen.
Yeah, that's an apt way of putting it. I'm
kind of wondering if all of this shit, like, actually substantially affected their projected sales.
So it's funny you say that. I'm looking at a thing right now that I have pulled up. It says, despite its big performances, Jedi Survivor surpassed its predecessor and became the second biggest Star Wars release on Steam platform, only behind Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. It peaked at 63.5K concurrent on Steam for its all-time. The previous game was at 46.5. So it probably sold just as well as the first one did. And we also have,
here's
like,
the thing, though.
May the 4th coming up, so they're going to double down on sales this next week, and yeah.
It's always important to mention this, though. It's very doom and gloomy to say that kind of stuff. Like, and it makes sense, you know, like, oh man, like, the game is getting great sales even though it's terrible. This is just going to reiterate to
I see what you're saying.
Companies that they can do this kind of stuff, et cetera, et cetera. But one thing's important to remember is the bigger that things like Twitch get, the more people that get turned on to YouTube, the more people are going to see streamers playing this and not buy it. So sure, maybe it did just as well as the last one, but it could have done maybe twice as well as the last one. So I like it. There are going to be things going on behind closed doors from the people that are making money off this product, where there is no question that they're going to be like, yeah, this is successful, but look at the Steam reviews. Look at what everyone's saying. Like, this could have been better, and it could have, most importantly for them, which makes their little eyes light up, this could have made us a lot more money if we had done this properly. So it's not quite like, a lot of people make this weird thing where it's like, oh, well, gamers are dumb and, you know, it's still sold. And what are they thinking?
Right.
But it's like, dude, anyone who does this for a living is going to look at this and be like, no, we would have made more money if we had done this better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, so important to keep that in mind.
Yeah. And
does anyone know of any, like, either you guys here or in chat, of a place you can, like, reliably find refund stats? Because I'm just curious, like, how
on
much
Steam? No, like, I don't think,
percentage wise.
I don't think Steam releases that information.
Yeah, they don't usually release that info. Whoa, we're in there.
Good for them.
Happening on the screen.
Oh yeah, I got shoved into a pipe. It happens.
Yeah, man.
There's been a few weird bugs.
I've had some, dude. I had the weirdest bug I might have experienced in, like, a AAA game ever. It was on Coruscant. I was fighting the final boss on Coruscant. I won't say who that is, but you guys have both played it. You know who I'm talking about. And I died, and I reloaded, and I went to go down the elevator to refight that boss. I got down the elevator, refought the boss, and it crashed to desktop. It's like, okay, whatever. It was like second crash desktop. Rebooted it, loaded back in the game, went into the boss arena. The boss wasn't there. Wouldn't spawn. I walked to where you progress past the boss when you, like, shimmy through the whatever, and a thing came up and said, I don't remember the exact jargon that it put out, but it was a full on-screen interrupting gameplay thing. And it said, hey, if you continue on, your game will be severely bugged. You need to reload from this last checkpoint or risk your game being severely bugged.
You got dev text?
What do
you have a clip of that?
It's in the VOD somewhere. Yeah, I could try to pull it up.
Oh my God.
But it was wild. I've never seen that.
See that.
Yeah.
Dude, that is the kind of stuff that the QA guys are supposed to be seeing.
Yeah.
Like, that is just straight up dev text.
I'll try to find it. It'll take a second, but yeah, like, that came up and I was like,
oh yeah, please show a clip of that.
Well, I guess
and get that on Twitter immediately.
I was like, I guess I'm gonna reload the boss. And so it reloaded my prior save to right before that, when I had, like, used the meditation thing. And I walked downstairs and fought the boss.
The last time I remember hearing about something like that was back when I worked in IT. A buddy of mine had actually just come to work the job that I was doing from Funcom. And he said he said that's basically how the devs would contact with the QA team. would be that they would put like big text on the screen, like, okay, if you got here and you haven't done this, then go back and do this first. Or like you just said, reload your save if this, and this didn't happen. So the fact that you're seeing that may be the exact same system that they were using to QA their game. Like, oh my Lord, dude.
Let's see.
Wow.
No, I was
here
immediately
it is.
like reminded of
it's not you, this is a different person, but I'll put a tweet up of it real quick.
The very first Easter egg on an Atari system. Like you had to do this really weird specific thing, and then you got to see the developer's name. That seems like what this is. Like you got to do this really weird set of events in order to see this fucking screen pop up. Yeah. But they knew it. So they're like,
I found it.
Instead of fix it, we'll just put a big sign that says, maybe don't go farther.
Yeah, slight spoilers for the first like major boss in the game if you're at all worried about that, but it is what it is. I don't even think the boss is going to show, but here's me confused, and then there's the error right there.
All right, hold on, I want to read this. You seem to have bypassed certain story elements. Continue to play from this point may encounter issues. If you choose to proceed, dude, this is not dev text.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Look above unexpected error. There's an actual graphic.
It's like themed. Yeah. There
is an error code at the bottom right, though.
There is. Yeah. But I love the proceed anyway. Proceed anyway. Continue in the broken state. This is not recommended. Things will likely be broken. How wild is that?
Well, I bet you like once that screen like hit Twitter or whatever, speedrunners were excited, like, oh, someone broke the game. Well, let's see how much further we can break it.
Yeah. I didn't continue, so I'm curious what would actually break. But
one half of me is appalled by this, and the other half of me is like, I'm kind of impressed they planned for this.
That's how I responded. Is like,
the
fact they put this in is kind of impressive.
Like somebody formatted this screen, made the little top nice, and gave you options programmed in, like,
yeah. And then it crashed. Or no, sorry, it did that. It like deloaded everything and then reloaded it all.
How weird.
In real time without like a loading screen type deal. Very strange.
Oh, I like this. QQ Tenko says, new era of game development. Instead of fixing bugs, we'll just slap a warning label on it.
Yeah.
Well, no. Like, make it an achievement. Make it like something pop up. Be like, you found the game-breaking bug. Like,
it's kind of I made a joke about that, but that is funny enough exactly what happened. They knew the bug existed because they made the screen that gave you the choice.
Right.
But instead of fixing it, they went ahead with that. That's a conscious decision. That is them deciding, instead of figuring out and fixing it, so they don't have to get this screen, we're just going to give them the screen instead. And then what's even weirder is they then had to spend actual man hours implementing that.
Yeah.
And they could have been fixing the bug.
I think the only thing that's missing from that little pop-up is the words "congratulations" at the top.
That's what the little alien cipher is.
Congratulations!
Yeah. If you decode the alien cipher, that's what it is.
Someone in my Tarquinius in my chat, that screams that they didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
That's one of those things. That's one of those things where the dev was just like, "There's no way we're going to be able to fix this. Just before it comes out, just smack a window on it."
Yeah, no, that's the equivalent of like being at any sort of business and having like a sticky note by like I don't know, the coffee machine. It says like, just hit the side, so and it'll give you your coffee. Trust me, just hit it right here.
The plot thickens a little bit because while you were looking for your clip, somebody put a tweet, which I have now copied into the Drop Frames Discord. The guy that got the error in the tweet got it in a different area.
Oh, really? It wasn't a boss area?
So it looks like that might just be some kind of bucket system to catch like any time like they get to this part and they haven't done this part, like pop up this error kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Makes sense. Well.
Oh wow. The last thing before we move on.
Yeah.
Monday Monkey, there's an area towards the end of the game near the last boss. If you go up to an elevator without resting at the meditation point, and die, it will load you back to the meditation point, but the elevator never respawns and you have to restart your game.
God. A lot of things like that. It's just all over the place.
The worst part about this, and I do want to bring one final thing into this. The game is good.
That's what I was about to say. Yes.
It's a fun world. It's fun characters. I had a boss fight today that I spent like 45 minutes on, and it felt great. It was one of those boss fights. It's like a Dark Souls fight. You just kind of slowly progress through, learning the moves, getting better and better. Like, the world is fun. The character voice acting is on point. The droids are hilarious. Like, there's a lot of like people.
Great. Yeah, you're right.
People ask me all the time while playing this, is this game worth it? And I say, yeah, the game is worth it, but the performance isn't at all. Like, the performance makes it so it's not worth its current price. But the game is fantastic. If it ran well, this would be a no-brainer recommend. Like, absolute no-brainer. But with all these other problems, man, it's rough. And there has been jankiness with the combat, but at this stage of the game, I can't chalk that up to not being performance issues. Like, because the performance is so wonky. 9 times out of 10, when I have wonkiness with the combat, I'm getting a low frame rate or jittering. And it's like, it's a little weird that the only times I'm kind of having issues feeling like I pressed something or did something that didn't register is during these weird performance drops. So I don't know, man. I feel terrible for Respawn. I really do. Because it's like, they obviously had something good here that they just weren't able to realize.
Right.
It really sucks that like the frame rate issues directly affect like the one of the most, if not the most enjoyable part of the game for me, which is the parkouring. Like, you know, the running on the walls and the jumping and double jumping and, you know, all that kind of shit. Like, it is so like fast. And I love it when they make like climbing, because, you know, we've all been through games where it's just like climb, snake eater, you know, like we've all been through games like that, right? And this game does everything so smoothly and so quickly that when you're fucking doing it and it starts like stuttering, you're just like, I was having so much fun.
Yeah.
And it just it sucks now.
Yeah, I mean, the majority of my experience has been hovering around 60. It'll hit lows of 40, which I think is like what most people are experiencing. But there are times where I'm just playing, and this doesn't happen too much on stream, but it'll be like, oh my, what, 4 hours has passed. I haven't even like looked at the clock or like thought about how long I've been streaming or anything, because I just have a blast. You know, playing through the game, seeing freaking Metroid references like the one we just saw right there. It's just fun to play. I think they like put, from a story perspective, they put Cal Kestis in a place where he finally kind of feels like a badass, and he acts as one throughout the game. Whereas in the first one, he was like kind of unsure about himself. But in this one, he just does badass things. And the animations are badass. Like, Ko, you've probably seen this animation a bunch using the 2 lightsaber style, but you can walk up and like finish a boss or finish a droid, and he'll take the 2 lightsabers and just throw them at the thing's chest and go over and like put his leg on the thing and then pull the lightsabers out.
Oh yeah, dude.
That type of shit is incredible to watch. I mean, it's like the full Star Wars fantasy that you want of playing a Jedi. And every single style has that type of stuff. It's a ton of fun when it works.
Clicks.
Yeah,
when it clicks, when it works, it works.
Yeah,
it's cool, man.
It's great.
Yep.
Story stuff, you know, is like I guess I don't know if I would say diehard, but is someone who's watched pretty much everything Star Wars related in the past, I don't know, 20 years, multiple times. I think this story is fantastic. I'm not very far in it, I don't think. But the fact that we're getting what we're getting was a shock to me, in terms of like the main, I guess, period that they are focusing on. Didn't expect that at all. I didn't even get that from any of the previews or anything. So I'm canon, loving that.
Right?
This is all canon. Yeah. It's all canonical.
That blows me away. That particular fact, like
totally,
this actually happened in the Star Wars universe, and they're accepting all of it. It's great.
Yeah. So I'm loving all that. I think some of the things that I don't necessarily think the game is like the first one, its rewards were ponchos. Everyone bitched about that. That was the meme. Everyone's like, you get some ponchos for like doing some exploration. This one has like okay rewards for doing exploration. It's like, I'm going to dig through the trash and find a beard.
Right? A mullet, dude, a mullet.
Let's get this mullet out of this trash can.
Oh my God. I looted a mullet. I've never in my life looted a mullet.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. But it kind of, it makes me wish it is a lot better, but
it's a lot better.
I wish there was like just the little bit of like RPG element.
Now, one thing important to mention though is now I've been doing some side questing because I do side questing on my new channel in the evenings because I don't want to do main story stuff there. I try to do as little as I can.
Yeah.
And now at the end of like most side quests and most things, instead of just getting like a random poncho or gun skin, there's almost always one of those blue crystals. And those things will give you more health, more force, a skill point at times. So it does seem like they not only verbosely more itemized the skill system, but they also have like actual impactful rewards for that as well. So that's been good. That's one of the things that kind of killed the first game for me for doing side stuff is
I agree.
You'd literally spend 20 minutes doing a side quest and then the end reward was a new poncho. And you're just like, I literally could not care less about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be
okay.
amazing.
I agree.
Right here on the screen.
Yeah.
This is the only like item they give you for the first few hours of the game that has any sort of flair to it or good coloring.
Oh,
the rest is so goddamn muted. Yeah, the leather jacket. They give you purple. They give you a cool red. They give you yellow, like that kind of stuff. Like all the other shit. It's like I went through the palettes. It's like they took all the cool colors and turned them down. And I'm just like,
look,
let me wear a pink cape. Let me have some gold boots or something.
They don't.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't. That's for the DLCs.
Yeah, that's the stuff they could charge you for. Look, once I found the muscle shirt and the hand, like the mustache. I don't even know what that is. I
heard about your look.
And the bald head. Oh my God. I'm on, dude. He pops up in a cutscene. I'm like, that's my Jedi right there. Like every time.
Okay. So you're saying I need to keep going. Okay, I'll keep going.
Dude, you get some crazy looking, silly, absurd things. It's great.
I am happy that like pretty quick in the game, like maybe your outfits aren't great, but I was able pretty quickly in the game to get like a sparkling gold pink lightsaber. Like,
I'm using the pink lightsaber.
Very happy about that at least.
Yeah.
I heard that JP isn't Cal Kestis. He's Cal Kestis.
That's correct. Yeah. I can try to pull up some footage of it. Let me see. It's so
Can we
good.
talk
dude.
about that accent
Wait, which accent?
Coming up on that accent for that one town, you walk in and you're just
So
dude.
They basically made the entire first planet like it's down home Southern Jedi.
Oh,
hey everybody.
my
feels
like home.
Mosey. Hey, my name's Mosey. How about you just come on over here? We'll have ourselves a sit down. Bless your heart.
Yeah. I get it. It's real tropey. And I mean, Star Wars is really tropey. Like that's fine. It kind of pulled me out of him. Like, are you from the planet Alabama? Like, dude.
The planet. That's where my Cal Kestis is from. My muscle shirt, handlebar mustache, shaved head, Cal Kestis with a pink saber.
God, dude, what is this?
He looks awesome.
He's looking good.
Yeah. I absolutely love how he looks. It's completely absurd.
I got my guy rocking the beard and goatee and like the floofy hair.
Dude,
it's
there's
great.
so many. You could basically make both of you as Cal Kestis. Like you can make 100% Zeke with a mohawk. They got like a faux hawk in the game, or you can 100% make Ko with long hair, short hair, whatever you want. So I had to take things into my own hands and just make the country Cal. And he looked pretty good. He looks pretty good. And I like all that customization stuff. Like it is fun to like make your Jedi look like this. He looks so good.
That is fan-fucking-tastic.
Your BD1 looks like he forgot his textures.
Yeah, no, I found like Imperial paint. And so I made it all white. So I have like the Imperial, the Empire's colors and made it all white. It looks great. And then I have a pink saber because why not? Why not?
Yep.
I haven't found any of the other saber colors, but I've heard they're in there. I I just haven't like looked far enough yet, I guess, or been far enough yet. I think you can eventually get a red saber, but I haven't seen where that's at. Anyways, it's really hard to recommend this. I've seen a lot of people like saying, "Oh, would you recommend it?" I don't think any of us in its current state can actually say like you need to play this game.
No, it's how long before it's fixed? Do you think before it's playable?
Months.
It really depends on how hard they're going to work on fixing it. But the thing is it's kind of weird because this is a kind of game where we can kind of like pre-recommend it.
Yeah.
Like I absolutely will recommend this game when the performance is better. And they will almost guaranteed make the performance better. It's just going to take time.
Yeah.
I mean, they made the first one was fine, and this one is a little bit better looking, but it's not exactly reinventing any wheels. So, it will be better one day. And when it is, it's an easy recommend.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you do have some kind of, processor that's a harnessed black hole and, maybe some kind of super gold plated GPU, even then you're going to get some stutter issues, but it's playable. But even then it's kind of hard to recommend a game that's not like good performance.
Well, that's the thing, dude, is you can throw like the greatest PC at this thing and it doesn't matter because it doesn't utilize the hardware. That's what that Digital Foundry video they put out, which I highly recommend people to go and check out if they're at all curious about the real nuts and bolts of how it's performing or really not performing. They would show like the utilization of the GPU to be like 30-40% at max. And they're running like a 4090 and it's just not, it's not hitting it. And they were running I think it was a 12900K CPU, which has like 24 cores. And only like 2 of those cores were above 40%. Everything else was around like 10 to 15% usage. Like that's not good. That's not how that should be.
For a certain percentage of our players who are using a gravity drive and have their warp nacelles on max, we understand there have been some performance issues.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like they talk about it at length in that video that a lot of the stuff that is messed up, they're not even sure if it can be like remedied easily because of the fact that it's caked into UE4 and it's like there are things that they're worried about like not being able to be fixed because even the first game has a lot of those frame timing issues. If you go back and the first game launched also in a pretty poor state, if you recall. But yeah, go watch the Digital Foundry video. I'm curious to see what happens with all that stuff because the game, if you can get it to run reasonably well, aka if you have some pretty high end stuff, story's good, characters fun. They put a lot more like I felt like they played God of War and they played a lot of these other like big AAA games and they're like, we need more like interesting, fun characters. So now you have people like, I'm just going to say Scuba Stev. Fantastic. One of my favorite characters in the game. He's freaking great. You get like did you guys find the DJ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It like.
And the droid humor is just completely next level.
Droid humor is fantastic.
Any time I hear droids talking, I just stop.
You just stop, yeah.
Just stop and listen. Like today, dude, what was it? 2 BD1s. And one of them was like, well, I am obviously your superior because I am number 429. And then the guy is like, no, I am your superior because I am 133. And he goes, no, I am your superior. And he goes, no, that's not how numbers work. And that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
But my number came earlier. That's not how numbers work.
Yeah.
It's just, and you're just sitting there like, what are you talking about? This is amazing.
It's great. I love all of that stuff. I love all the dialogue.
Droid telling another droid he doesn't know how to math.
Yeah. All
By
the
the
characters
way,
are awesome.
I'm at the workbench and there's a fucking creature just
Attacking
taking
you?
swings at me while I'm at the workbench.
Nice.
So I found the invincibility potion.
Yeah.
Just start working on something.
Yeah. Gameplay wise, I am. Oh God, that thing. Those things are kind of jump scary.
Out of curiosity, so you're using single primarily, JP?
I'm using. Is it spoilers to say the different types that you get later on in the game?
I've only played a little bit and I know of
Let's
three.
talk about this later. Let's talk about.
I know single, double-ended, and dual wield.
Okay,
there are more.
I'm using. I'm using the fourth and the fifth. The other two that you don't start.
Oh
the game
wow!
With. Yeah,
interesting.
Okay,
because I'm dual, like 100%. Oh, now I want to know.
The fourth one, I'm going to put up spoiler tags. If you don't want to hear this, take your headphones off. It's fine.
Sorry, I really want to hear this.
I just don't want to spoil it. The fourth one is awesome.
Now we're talking about the gun.
Yes, the gun.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you can get the DLC to make it look like Han Solo's gun.
Okay, that's crazy.
And that's great. And then if you unlock it all the way, you get the McCree Ultimate from Overwatch.
That's crazy. So you're using that one, and then your primary in that case is Greatsword?
Yes. Yeah.
And you like Greatsword?
I think it's awesome, dude. I think it has the best animations in the game. Yeah. And the noises for it, like when you...
That's cool, yeah.
When you like pull the thing and the Star Wars nerd in me is just like, oh, that's great every time. So
okay, that's fair.
That's fair. That's good. Anyways,
cool.
yeah,
we're good.
The other three are good. I think the first three you get are awesome, but I'm more interested in the fourth and the fifth one, even though they're a little bit like, why the fuck would a Jedi use this? But yeah, that's besides the point type deal. So, what else? Is there anything else? Character story stuff. I'm really liking the story. It takes a bit for the story to like get going. I finished the entire first stream and I didn't know where the main story was because I kind of just got lost on the second planet that you go to. There's so much side stuff to just wander and find.
Wait, you go to another planet? Oh fuck! You put the spoiler tag down.
Yeah, I know, a Star Wars thing. But yeah, I pulled it up yesterday. I got like 15, 16 hours in it. And I was looking at whatever this map is called. I forgot what the planet's called. And in the bottom left-hand corner, it tells you the percentage. And it was like, you've done 40% of this place. How is that? Like, how big is this place? It's got to be massive. So I kind of want to go back and like find all of that. I do want to talk about the actual difficulty and gameplay. There are some elements of that hardest difficulty which are just like not fun. Specifically the little chickens. When they run at you at red and it just one-shots you and you go flying off the side of the screen. It's how the fuck is a chicken doing this to each other?
Lovingly referred to as the Ramcocks.
Dude, they suck so much. They're so
I've been calling
stupid.
them the death chickens myself.
Yeah. God, they suck. They're just nightmares. Those guys are terrible. And then when you find, let's say, the first legendary creature in a cave, you're like, oh, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to jump down and fight this thing. He walks at you, hits you once, and you die. No matter what your HP value is, you just get one shot. I have not killed that guy yet. I don't know if either of you have fought him multiple times, but it was a pain in the ass.
I don't know if I've done him. I'm curious now.
He is the rumor with the miners, the people, the prospectors.
I don't think I fought him yet.
Okay, yeah. I like jumped down. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. Let's fight this. Oh, I'm dead. Oh man, I'm so excited. Oh God, he grabbed me. I'm dead. Like it's literal one-shot territory across the board for most of those like legendary creatures I've found. And then the main story bosses are, honestly, I haven't really struggled. I've like first tried all of them so far. And so I'm curious when that's going to change because the legendary bosses are not even, I haven't even bothered to fight them yet. But
I've spent time on both the first bosses with my mode.
Yeah.
Like the first guy was pretty rough.
What? Oh, do you mean the first boss on Coruscant? What do you? Who do you? Which boss are you talking about?
The one that starts disarmed.
Got it. Okay, I one shot that guy.
Nice. Wow. Okay.
But I'm also I utilize a thing called the jump tech.
Oh no.
And that's when they go red, you just jump up and attack, and it like throws you over their attack and you get a bunch of damage on them. I don't know. I jump a lot in combat, and apparently that's not normal.
I never jump.
I jump so much in combat.
Jump.
Yeah.
I actually never jump.
I'm jumping pretty much nonstop.
I did it accidentally because I was playing too much Ishin, and that's the dash button in Ishin is the A button, X button, whatever, the bottommost button.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, red attack's coming in. I'm gonna jump in the air. Okay, I will jump in the air and I'm off the edge. Okay, let's try it again.
Yeah. I'm jumping nonstop. Sometimes to my own detriment, though. I have jumped up in the air and people just stare at me like, what the hell are you doing? And then charge up a red attack and I'll just get one tapped the second I hit the ground. So not a smart strategy at all, but sometimes it works out in my favor. I think JP jumped off his death and is very free. Dark Arrows, why are you here? All right. Why are you mentioning this, Dark Arrows?
Come on over to my channel. I do that shit on accident and on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I love seeing death animations, or that's basically how I explore. Yeah. I explore by like falling off everything.
Yeah. There are some fun like collision bugs that'll happen. I don't know if you guys have ran into it, where you'll kill a creature or something with like a downward strike where it manipulates with the ground, and the ground is just like, no, I don't want you here. Then it'll just take the mob and send it to space, and it just goes like flying at like Mach 10. I've had a couple of those, which are really fun. Some droids and a couple people with some backpacks with some fun stuff happening there. I'm trying not to spoil it with all that because it is some fun reveals in the game. But yeah,
I gotta say, like it's been since I played the first game without knowing who the main character was, the actor. And since that game has come out, I've watched both Shameless all the way through and Gotham all the way through, and now I can't fucking separate him from those characters. It's just so hard. Like every time I hear him talk, I'm like, oh my god, it's the kid from Shameless.
Yeah,
that's right.
He's pretty similar to the like demeanor, I think, of his Shameless character in this one. Like in a lot of ways, the main character is pretty depressed, I feel, in the start of the game. And like an interesting way, not just like, God, this character's so mopey.
Well, for good reason if you've played the first part of the game.
Yeah. For absolutely good reason. I think he does a phenomenal job. I think all the voice actors do a phenomenal job. Except for Mercer playing like 30 fucking Jedi in this game. He is everywhere. Every 5 minutes, I just happen upon Mercer doing something, talking about something, playing bold Jedi or courageous Jedi or skittish Jedi or just nonstop.
Well,
Jedi.
Not only Jedi, but like one of the first where I am right now, the first like township or whatever. The second person I talked to, I'm like, I know that guy.
He sounds exactly like McCree in that character.
Yes.
Yeah.
I made a McCree joke, in fact.
Yeah. He's all over.
We were talking about how he showed up to like be a main character, and like they kind of asked him to read the lines, and then the person's like, so Mert Marcer, was it? We've got like, can you do like 30 different takes of that? Just a little different? He's like, yeah, why? Like, oh, no reason. Just read these lines.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Marcer.
He's all over it. He's everywhere.
Everywhere. He's like he's literally every side character.
Every
tertiary character.
Yeah.
Which is too bad. And like we were talking about, like who gets Matt Mercer to voice all of your tertiary characters? Like he's like a main character in most. He's not even a side character. He's just like the random dude you hear when you're running through town. Like, hey, how you doing, partner? It's like I can't even talk to this guy. He's just talking. It's wild, man.
He's all over the place.
He's all over the place.
Any force echo, and it's like, well, let's see what Mercer's got to say. Even though it's a completely different character, pretty much every time. So,
also, can we like talk about every time, like, because if you restart the game, sometimes it helps with that memory leak issue.
Yeah.
But every time you restart, you have to wait on that.
Optimize the
we're
shaders.
optimizing.
Oh, Zeke, you know the funniest.
The fuck?
You know the funniest part about that Digital Foundry video? After the first time, they're convinced it does absolutely nothing. They watched all of the CPU cores and the GPU cores in terms of like what it was, what they're actually utilizing on all of that, there are 0 jumps on any of it. And so they think it's just like they're doing nothing. And it's crazy that you have to wait for that every single time. Because it's a good like minute or two. It's not fast by any estimation.
It's a slow load.
Yeah. I hate that for sure, though. It's completely ridiculous that that's a thing. So, and does that happen on consoles? I don't think it does on consoles at all.
Someone in my chat, Slightly 76, said, the first time it optimizes shaders, subsequent times it's throwing shade.
Yes. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Someone else in my chat, Ty Martinez, asked if any of you like read, probably not, or got a synopsis of the novel that happens in between these.
I heard about it, but I did not read it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it have to do with like what happened with the crew? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense because they allude to a lot of that stuff, but they don't go into exactly what happened and why it happened, and probably because they want you to go buy the book. But yeah, I did not check that out. I didn't even know it existed, if I'm honest. I didn't realize there was a post Fallen Order type deal. So, anything else we want to say on the game? Are we good? Did we get it all out?
I think we covered every base we could.
I don't want to wait a year to play this again. I'm going to try it again.
I'm going to finish
it.
Yeah.
I'm not playing it on stream anymore, but I am like going to try it on my own. And God, I just hope that some patch comes out sooner than a year or a month.
Yeah.
But,
same.
Yeah.
I would love to see this game running at 100 FPS because it's 60. There's moments where I'm like, God, this game's like really, really pretty looking. And those animations look really, really cool. And then you walk 5 feet and it's like, it starts stuttering completely. So I would love that. It'd be great.
That's one thing I wanted to ask. Is there a big reason, like the main core reason why this is shitty, why it runs shitty?
They don't really know. I think it's a multitude of things that are kind of all happening at once type deal.
Okay.
I
don't
want
feels unfinished, man.
Yeah.
It's unfinished. It's an unfinished product.
Digital Foundry's got the best take on it, I feel, and are probably the best to actually handle that from a just talking about it point of view. But they even have shitty things like the DRM of the game. It's not the DRM. Sorry, it's the EA launcher. If you install this machine or install the game on another machine, and then go to swap the game, install the game from the same EA account back on the old machine, you have to wait 24 hours. It locks you out because they don't want you like copy or like installing the game on multiple machines.
Man, seriously?
Yeah, they talked about that in the Digital Foundry video. And so like he said he couldn't even test it on a ton of machines because it kept locking him out.
What's the reason for that?
It's just DRM stuff.
DRM, like piracy, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. It's the DRM through EA app. Yeah, not de novo, but stuff like that.
One positive thing.
It's crazy.
That popped up while we were talking. That I think is a great addition and could be. I made mention of this. It could have been used in God of War. It could have been used in Horizon Zero Dawn. Would you like a hint?
Oh, nope. Yeah, it's a great system.
No, thank you for asking.
Yeah, I've had that come up a couple times. It's good. Anytime where the NPCs are walking around with you, I've found them to be generally good. They don't constantly shout at you things like they did in God of War. They just kind of exist and they do cool things when you want to, when you want them to, when you tell them to. They're not constantly talking, and so and they're all cool. They're all interesting characters. So it's good. I don't know if that came because of a feedback from all of the God of War stuff, or if that was just how they intended it from the start, but. It's the proper way to handle all that without question. Is just pop up and let the player choose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like if I'm, you can insult me. That's fine. You can say like after like there's lots of games out there like after a few deaths like you want to lower the difficulty maybe like that's fine. You can, but ask. That's all I ask. You know, you can
ask.
insult me all you want. Like, it seems like you really suck at this, and maybe you should drop the difficulty.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just trying to help.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else. I'm sure we'll revisit that. I think we're all going to play through it. I would love to talk about the story stuff once we all get it wrapped up. Do you have any idea how far you are in the game?
No,
I
actually don't. Yeah, they've already I've already done a few random things I didn't think I'd be doing.
Yeah,
and the story pacing seems a little strange. So with what I know about the story so far, I really have no clue where it's honestly going at this point. There's a few major story events that are going to happen, but I don't even know if the main character knows what's going to happen when we get there yet. It's not like he has a goal. He's just kind of like going through the motions. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I had a person on Twitter, a friend on Twitter, say that it took him 16 hours to beat, and I was like, "How did it take you six? Like, am I bad / slow? Because I'm at like 18, and I don't feel like an end is in sight whatsoever."
Well, if you're playing the hardest difficulty, you're also dying and running around a lot more.
So yeah, maybe.
If you dropped it down and just played it on normal and ran through it,
maybe
that would be probably a little different.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll talk about it.
Death chickens, man.
Dude, those chickens suck.
One death chicken is like an extra 5 minutes.
Dude, if it's not the death chickens, you talk. It's the B2 guys. Those B2 droids when they do the shot. If there's two of them,
those missiles
and they're offset,
are so fast.
Yeah,
and so if you don't the second you see that missile leave the barrel, if you're not already force pushing, you are going to get hit.
Yeah.
By them.
Dude, I was playing it on the normal difficulty, and I dropped down into the a bite section with a couple of those things, and it was just like they were in sync. It was just like pew, pew, pew! And then it was like rocket, like back and forth rockets, and I'm just like, ow, shit, ow, beanie, no, shit, fuck. Okay, I guess it's
dude, there are the way the combat system is set up, and here we are still talking about the game, but there are absolutely times and ways that you will just be womboed into the ground. Like there's nothing you can do. You'll get hit, which will cause you to get knocked down. Another guy will attack you while you're on the ground. That'll put you in another animation. Before that's done, a third guy hits you, or the first guy hits you again.
Yeah.
And especially on hardest difficulty, three shots by the right mobs and you're gone.
You're gone.
So, yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes you're just dead.
That's right. That's right. Let's talk Bramble. Zeke, I'm going to throw to you because I know you were playing Bramble the Mountain King.
Yeah.
Should I show beginning footage? Is that way? Because it's it's like a 4. Did you finish it, by the way? It's like a 4-hour game. I don't know if you finished it.
It was, let's see.
Your VOD's like 350.
It took me 5.7.
Oh, okay. So maybe there's another VOD I missed.
Yeah. He's probably in the middle of editing out the breaks and stuff.
We were talking about Little Nightmares earlier, and I think this is a good way to like lead into this.
Absolutely.
So what is Bramble the Mountain King all about?
Well, it's a grim adventure set in a world inspired by dark Nordic fables, and that I learned that Nordic. I thought Nordic and Norse were synonymous, and they are not. Nordic fables is a bunch of countries, even more so than saying Scandinavia. Because that includes Iceland and Denmark, if you say Nordic, I think.
Huh. Okay.
So yeah, it's Sweden, Finland, Norway, Iceland, Denmark are Nordic tales, I think. But anyways, it is a fucking glorious looking, and the audio and visuals of this game are top notch. They are A+ all the way across the board. It creates an environment where you play it feels like you play a small, even smaller, like the Littles. Remember the show The Littles, where they were just like mouse-sized people?
Yeah.
Like it feels like that. You're not, but it feels like that throughout the game. It plays with perspective, it plays with size, it plays with like what's in the foreground and what's in the background. They do a really good job of setting an immersion, a creepiness vibe in certain areas, and it's brutal. Like I said more than once playing this game, like this is stories for children, but it's like fables. It's like a lesson. You know, they tell stories like this so you don't go out into the river by yourself or whatever. But like whereas like our stories, you know, are a little bit less. Their stories are like, don't go out into the river because there's a naked man out there who plays a fiddle who will eat your head, literally. Will grab you up with his giant hand and he will bite your head off of your body. So don't go into the river by yourself.
By yourself.
That's a great way to not get kids to go to the river by themselves.
I'm never getting in that river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Nacken. Yeah. But yeah, it's all these different fables and lessons that were designed to teach children certain things about life and what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
But that all aside, it's told very it's a very fantastic world, and it's not a difficult game to play. It plays a lot like Little Nightmares, where it's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of complexity to it. But you find yourself like actually getting like chills and getting like a little creeped out. And there's definitely like some tender moments in there too. Where a creature lends you a hand and you're like, oh my God, that's so great. Oh. But yeah, it's a shorter playthrough. It's on the spendy side for being 4 to 5 hours.
What's
it's
it cost?
20. It's the sticker price is $29. It's on sale right now for $27.
Okay.
But it's a little on the high side.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can see where the money went, but for the game time, it's up to you to decide. Do you like quality over quantity? Does that matter to you? Does the experience matter more than how long you get to play it? For me, absolutely worth it. I would say totally. I love games that put so much focus into audio design and environment and, you know, enemy or whatever design. Love that shit.
Yeah.
I love that I can get lost. You can get definitely just lost in this game. There are quite a few like little side things. I think I got, let me see. There we go. I got 19 out of 30 achievements. And most of the achievements are, did you find this little figurine? So you can there's little off paths where you can go find little collectible items and little story elements and stuff like that. And it is fully voice acted, which is cool. Excellent. And it's voice acted very well. The music in it is staggeringly good. Like the first time you hear the fiddle player in the swamp, and that's not really. I hope that's not really spoiler because it was in the demo.
Okay.
Because there was a free playable demo for a while. But the fiddle song is just great. The final song, and I won't say it because the name of the song is actually kind of spoilery. But the final song and the final encounter, so goddamn good. It's just really driving and pumping. Like it melds really well together. And I mean, look, this is like what you get throughout the game, just changing environments with different immersive elements, creepiness, this eeriness. The basic premise of the story is you are a little blonde child trying to find your sister, and that's like the through line throughout the entire thing. And every time you get close to her, obviously she gets moved further away somehow.
Right. Princess.
So that's how the progression of the game. But yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah. And all the footage I've seen of this comes in short form content via TikTok, but it's always about things in the background and how fucking creepy they are, and then how they show up later. And so if you miss them, it's fine. But if you don't miss them and you just kind of see what's happening, it's even creepier when they show up the way they do. So it's intriguing in that regard. They do a lot of good things with foreground and background type elements when it comes to all this.
If you go to the Steam page, and there's the two first things are the trailers. But if you go to the first still image,
let's see,
on the Steam page, that is the thing that I'm talking about. Like that sets the scene, and the kind of the feeling of the game is you're a little kid jumping on these giant lily pads.
Yeah.
Yay! Yeah. But look in the background and be scared, be terrified.
Yeah. Yeah,
that is a great like first image to show you. It's just like, hey, look at this beautiful water, and you're jumping on lily pads, and what is that? That looks up, and it does exactly what you think it's going to do. It's like you're running by like boing, 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 and it just goes.
And just gets in the water, hangs out.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'm interested in the game, but probably from arm's length because I think it might be too creepy for me. Especially well, I mean, we were talking. Co mentioned the clip earlier before we were live. That in particular, like that was fucking brutal. That moment is fucking real crazy brutal. And it sounds like that's not the only moment that is similar to that, Zeke. So
well, okay. I will say this.
You've been on TikTok, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it's blowing up on TikTok. But if you are someone who is a decent player of video games, don't be for this game. experience the failures, because that's where a lot of the just like Jesus Christ, like I had like dozen of those moments throughout the game because like, oh, I fucking missed this jump and then this happens. Oh my God, for kids.
Yeah. Seems fun. $29 though. That's kind of steep. I didn't realize that's what they were asking for it. So yeah. What else we got going on?
What is TikTok? If you don't know that, you're probably better off.
Probably, yeah. No, we were talking about gambling addictions, different type of addiction.
We've been all over the place.
Yeah. Cody, you want to talk the Duviri paradox? Have you gone back and played it at all?
Yeah, sure. I did the whole thing.
Okay. I'll pull up some
footage. The thing about Warframe is primarily a farming game that has this identity crisis where it also is like this super cool single and low player like RPG story game.
Yeah.
And that is what I play in like Warframe for. I've always enjoyed Warframe's quests. They have some really cool voice acting, some really cool characters, some crazy stories, really weird and off-putting set pieces a lot of times. I mean, it's a very unique game in that regard. So recently, they did the Duviri paradox, and I did a sponsored 2.5-hour look of it. Funny enough, which is exactly how long it took.
Yeah.
And now they basically have taken everything that makes Warframe special, weird, and unique and put on this new story mode that almost functions like a light roguelike, which is really cool. It works. The story's crazy. There's, again, some really wild set pieces, especially towards the end. The system was the gameplay and stuff was fun overall, and I really enjoyed kind of going through the story and getting to the end and stuff. Just like most Warframe things, though, when it got to the point where it's like, okay, now you can farm, which is great for people that love Warframe because you literally can farm in this game for thousands and thousands of hours. That's not why I really play the game anymore. I play for those kind of one-time experiences of going through the stories and stuff. So I loved it and got to the point up where it's like you can farm, and then was like, cool, I'll see you next big update.
Yeah. So I'm actually curious because I did not, in my 2.5 hours with it, I did not finish the main story of the Duviri paradox. So I'm curious on the grinding aspect. Because one of the reasons that I was so enamored with this was the idea that they are, and is it spoilery to say like what the mechanic is in terms of how it works?
A little,
well,
yeah. But I mean,
you mentioned roguelite. Like,
yeah,
for me, them taking everything that exists in Warframe, which essentially there's 600 weapons and like 50 different Warframes that you can play as, and making all of those, and generally like the meta evolves, right? And so people are always using like one certain type of gun or one certain type of Warframe or whatever. This kind of like, in a good way, using a negative connotation, but or a phrase with a negative connotation, it kind of like pigeonholes you to play a certain way with a certain amount of choices. And for me, that seems like the perfect way to get me to constantly play Warframe is if I'm having to like on the fly craft something to make good gameplay decisions out of it. Does that extend past the main story? Is that what the grind process is? Because that's what I was unsure of.
You probably saw the intrinsic system, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's, from what I understand, that's mostly the grind.
Oh, so it's increasing your intrinsics?
More frames, okay. You can get more of that. The intrinsics level up and keep going from there. I don't know if there's like I did find the entire thing exceptionally easy. It was never difficult at any point.
Yeah.
Which was kind of unfortunate because that kind of invalidated a lot of the fun of the roguelite elements because it didn't matter if I synergized or made really strong builds. I could just like walk through everything anyway.
Right.
But Warframe is pretty good at giving you a challenge when you want one. That's something like the game is pretty easy by itself, but when you start like wanting, when you want to amp up the difficulty, you can. I don't know if you can do that in this mode. I'm guessing you can somehow, but I'm not sure how. Maybe someone in chat can say that. There is a steel path version of it, which makes
that's
it
what
very
I just
difficult.
got.
Okay, there you go. So that's probably what you would be looking for. And in that mode, I think it would be honestly a lot more interesting because in that way, all your choices would matter a lot more. They have a lot more weight.
Yeah.
So you'd have to really kind of experiment with it and figure out what works. And some of the abilities really synergize well. Like there's things that make it so you do massive amounts of percentage to cold based things, and there's another one gives you a cold aura, so you're freezing everything around you. There's things that happen only on crit, then you can get things that increase your crit rate. So it's kind of like standard roguelite stuff where you can find things that work really well and make already powerful things even more powerful.
Yeah, and I think for new players, because this is an entry point for new players to jump in for the first time, I think it's
you don't even need to play the base game.
You don't, yeah. I think it's
really
a fantastic way to introduce them to things that they might not be able to get to within like 10 hours plus of the game, right? Like some of these weapons you just don't see, you don't have access to at all. And if they're offering up those choices in the like roguelite element of it, I think that is like absolutely brilliant and a super clever way to handle a game where like people will never see that stuff most of the time.
They were saying on the dev stream, thank you, Velanin, for this. They were saying on the dev stream that the base is balanced around having no intrinsics, and Steel Path is balanced around having all the intrinsics.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, considering there's like, 10 ranks of 4 different things you can do, that does seem like that would be a lot. One thing I didn't really understand much, and people were kind of trying to tell me, but I still didn't wrap my head around it, is apparently you can get more frames. I picked a frame during the quest.
Yeah.
And that was the only frame I could use the whole time. People were saying like eventually you can get access to more frames, and if you get a frame choice that's one you have, then you get like your version of it.
Oh, really?
Which was pretty cool. But I'm not really sure how that whole thing works. So
I'm not either.
It does seem like there was a lot more to it than just the main story, especially for those that want to put more time into it.
Yeah, like you said, the 2.5 hours, I got right near the end in my sponsored portion, but I loved all of it. I thought it was awesome. And we didn't even touch on like the story stuff, but from someone that's played all the story updates in Warframe for the first like hour, I was kind of just wandering around going like, what the hell is going on? Like this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Then they slowly start to kind of, they slowly start to like reveal everything that's happening. And even then there's still a lot of questions that having not done the final encounter, I still don't know what was happening. So it has that Warframe charm then.
So you can level up in the cave and you get options for multiple choices, more weapon options and things like that. You get random frames, random guns, and random melee every circuit run when you do the circuit play mode.
Yeah, I knew the circuit was like that. That was why I was so interested in it.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Because for the most part, Warframe, when it comes to like the end game, it's like, all right, you get this frame, you get this weapon, you get this whatever, and you go and sit in this level and you farm it ad nauseum for as much as you want. And for them to like introduce this mode to where it seems like you don't necessarily have to be on top of the entire meta. And there's like some RNG element to it. I think that's pretty cool. What'd you find out from chat?
It's just, like Epion, who's actually a Warframe dev, says it's a randomized set of frames and weapons each playthrough, and there's actually a proper boss fight at the end of a circuit run.
Oh, cool.
So,
yeah. It's cool.
Cool, man. I like it.
It looks great. Skyboxes continue to be the best. Some of the best in the business.
Did you get to the big fight at the end?
No, I did not see the big fight. I've heard about it.
You should do it.
Yeah, I saw some footage of it, but I have not.
It's
not done it myself.
It was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
definitely surprising and very unique and fun.
If it has anything, if it looks like what I saw and kind of what you see at the end of that cinematic, then I can imagine it's probably pretty badass. Yeah, seems like it'd be
sneaky, cool. Sneaky snacks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess we should probably round this out and say, like, if Warframe's free, right? Like, I don't want to hashtag Addy, but like, this is all free.
Yeah, that's one. I mean, that's one of the reasons it's
wild.
That's kind of an easy recommend.
Yeah,
you can try it. You can play the whole game for free, and if you don't like it, cool, uninstall it. So whatever, you didn't pay a penny, man.
It's free. It's wild that it's free. I stumbled in the sponsor stream because I was like, yeah, I think this is all free. I want to say that this part is all free. You can just download the game. I was kind of surprised by that still. And I haven't even done the new war yet. And I've heard so many good things about that, which was the previous update to this. So.
Do I? Yes. I somebody just said, does Co give refunds if we don't like it? Yes, I will refund you the purchase price of Warframe if you download it and don't like it.
There you go.
That is a Co guarantee.
Check it out. Use the store. Zeke, what else have you been playing? Outside of the Bramble and the Star Wars.
Star Wars. I finished up Earthbound.
Yeah.
Yep. I finished up Earthbound. It was I didn't realize the last part of the game that I had to go. They have a little like you have to get singing stones throughout the game, and there's 8 of them, right?
Uh-huh.
And the last time we spoke, I had like 3 of them left. So I was like, okay, so there's about 40% of the game left. They went real fast. Like after that, the one that I ended up doing first, I guess, was the hardest one. And then I went to get the other ones because you can choose. Eventually, you can choose which ones to go after.
Yeah.
And I went to get the other ones, and they were just like boom, boom, boom. Like I just went through those really quickly.
Yeah.
And just we already talked about it pretty at length. Just suffice it to say that this game was a hell of an experience. I loved it. It made the purchase of the SNES Mini that I got.
Oh yeah.
It made the purchase of that real well worth it.
What'd that run you?
Not only for that.
What's a SNES Mini cost these days?
I think with shipping it was a little less than $200.
Okay. All right.
Something like that.
Wow.
But it also, I mean, granted, it has all like 21 games, and 15 of them are just classics. Like everybody should play those games. So
yeah.
But it was excellent experience. I can see why people love it. And I think mainly there's 2 reasons why people keep Earthbound in their hearts. One is the not revolutionary, the innovative. There you go. The innovative gameplay, the JRPG gameplay of the HP roll.
Yeah.
And what kind of tension that adds to like a certain like difficult parts of the game when you're like, this guy's going to explode, but if I kill this guy fast enough, I can get out in the HP roll. Basically it's a counter. It's like a counter on a wheel. And if you can kill the enemies before it gets down to 0, because they can do you mortal damage, but if you kill them before it gets down to 0, it stops wherever you kill them at.
Yeah.
So it adds that like tension to it. I hadn't experienced before. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, the crazy part about Earthbound for me, and I think for a lot of people that it left an impression on, is when we played that, we were like 12 and 13. And video games were like so not what they are today, right? They were basic, really, in a lot of ways. And so that game had such like a lasting impression on people because of what it actually did. It did so much. Like it was able to convey so many different emotions. Across the like 20-ish hours or 25-ish hours, I think, and playing it. And so then you jumped from like Earthbound and you kind of went to like Final Fantasy VI, or you went to Chrono Trigger or something like that. So like those 3 games, I think if you played those games back then, I feel like you're a certain type of gamer now, right? Like they were foundational in the style of games that you play today. If you played them when they came back then, and they still hold up, as you were just saying. Like they still hold up today.
It reminded me of the feeling the first time, because I'm a kid from Montana, not a lot of cultural influence from like anywhere like big cities or anything like that. So it reminded me of my first taste of anime. Like my first actual like non-mainstream. I'm talking like not Speed Racer, not Sailor Moon,
like Ninja Scroll type shit.
Yeah, exactly. Your first taste of anime. And you're
not
like,
that I'm an anime.
What?
Not that I'm not a weeb. This is a non-weeb podcast.
No, it's all good, baby. It's all good. But your first taste of that, and you're going like, wow, this is fucking weird. And it's like, it's got a sensibility about it that is foreign.
Yeah.
Like literally and figuratively foreign to me. In the subject matter and the way like people behave to each other and stuff like that. That's Earthbound. It had like non-traditional, absurd, surprising dialogue and story elements, and it was like it's still like nothing I've played except maybe Undertale, which was heavily inspired, by Earthbound.
For me, a lot of it too was like, what the fuck is going on in Japan? Like, I need to figure out what Japan is, because like this is from Japan. All this other shit seems like it's not really Japan, but this is like a product of Japan. And when I was like 12 or 13, I was like, what the heck is going on over there? It's wild.
Before I discovered what Japan's like culture, entertainment culture was like, I swear to God, I thought they made microchips in cars, and that was it.
Sure, yeah.
Because my dad would talk about it. He had a Honda Accord, and he was like, Japanese know how to make a motor.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I was like, Japanese people just make motors and electronic stuff. Awesome. I had no idea. And then I saw my first anime, and like, the Earthbound, if I would have played it as a kid, I would have been like, oh shit, okay. This is completely different. And it's a whole other world that I have yet to even explore.
Yeah.
And I talking about these, like, these big ideas, so late in my life, like I feel like I'm fucking missed out. I feel like I would have made different friends if I, would have played games like this.
That's what I was saying. They were foundational in a lot of people's lives for sure.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad you ended up playing. I think I asked you this last week. Are you going to check out Mother 3? I've never played Mother 3, but I know a lot of people speak very highly of it. I think there's like fan translations as well that you can get. So,
yeah, I'm working on a way to stream it. I want to be completely above board as much as possible.
Right.
And I'm not sure how to do that, since like threw a monkey wrench. Is like, that's, emulation. That's not exactly true. And I'm like, la, 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 la. But now I can't unhear it.
Yeah.
So
just don't put it on YouTube. Just don't put it onto YouTube. And you're good. Nintendo doesn't know that Twitch exists yet. You're good. They haven't figured it out yet. You'll be good.
Yes, I do want to play Mother 3 at some point, and I'm just wondering if there's a way to do it where I can play it on a console and then, like, I guess break open the console somehow, either physically or software wise, and add the fan translation somehow. Because I cannot play it in Japanese.
Yeah, I don't know how. That's a lot. I don't know how you would do that.
You could learn Japanese, you slacker.
Yeah, just go learn Japanese. Just get up some Duolingo.
No problem. Got it.
I wonder. Okay, Zeke. I have a 10,000.
ChatGPT, translate all of Mother 3 for me and send it to this email address.
You could do that. I was gonna say that might actually be simpler than what I was gonna recommend. I was gonna say get a phone that has Google Translate, to where you can pull up the image and just point it at a screen and have it translate everything in real time and then stream that. I don't know if that would work though.
I tried that in Japan.
Yeah, no, I know that technology is awesome. I just don't know if it would work that well.
And it gets, I would say it's about 60% right.
Yeah. Okay.
So not super reliable, because I'm sure that my pachinko machine I was playing did not reference a chicken for any reason, but it popped up in a lot of places when I was trying to translate what was on the machine.
I don't know. Maybe so. You never know. Pachinko machines like chickens. Who could say? What else have you been playing, Zeke? Anything from Indie Sunday yesterday we should bring up? Oh, actually, I do. I'm going to choose for you. I'm choosing for you.
Go ahead.
Zeke. And I'm choosing for you for two reasons. One, you're not a Pokemon. You wouldn't consider yourself a Pokemon fan, right?
No.
Is Cassette Beast any good? Because the reviews for Cassette Beast are like astronomical. And people are saying it's like the closest to Pokemon that even like most recent Pokemon games aren't there yet. How is Cassette Beast? The reviews are very good for it.
It is not. It's hard for me to say.
Yeah,
because it's hard for me to say because Pokemon is not something I ever got into.
Sure.
So I have no frame of reference really. And you have to like the style of it, and I do not.
The art style.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I didn't play it for super long. It's on Game Pass, by the way.
Right.
Let's mention that right away if you want to check it out. It's on Game Pass. But it feels like Pokemon. I played a little bit of what was the most recent one on Switch?
Arceus. Or
no, it was the dual one. It was like gold and silver, but not that.
Sapphire Emerald. I don't know.
Whatever that is. Yes,
up here soon.
I played those. Scarlet Violet. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
I played a little bit of that. It's not quite like that. It plays more like it seems like it looks more like a GBA, like a Game Boy Pokemon game. Being that it's pixel graphics, it's not hyper realistic or like rounded edges. It's very very pixelated.
Yeah.
But you fight monsters. You record them rather than you don't throw a Pokeball at them.
Legally distinct.
You take a tape, like a cassette tape, and you record them. Like you throw a beam at them, and it makes a recording of them. So you don't capture them. You have a copy of them in this tape, and then there are certain things that make them easier to capture. Like if you damage them, if A, B, or Z happens, then they're easier to capture or copy, whatever.
Yeah.
But once you have it, it's like recording successful. You put it away, and then you defeat the monster because the monster is you just have a recording of it.
Yeah.
But
now
they're very
it's soul. Just murder it.
Yeah.
Exactly. After you
Absolutely.
steal.
That's a lot better than capturing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can't really speak on the depth of the game because I didn't play it for that long.
Okay.
But everything is pretty customizable. You right out the gate, you get to customize your entire like chibi main character person, and they do give you like this ominous big bad, like pretty quickly. This is where you find the first
big bad
inkling of what the big bad is going to be. You're basically the basic gist of the story is you're dropped on an island, and everybody has been dropped on this island, or everybody that lives here has been dropped on this island, and no one knows how to get home. And this has been this way for years, so they made this their home. And you fight whatever this thing is, and it kind of like gives you the first thread of the sweater to pull to figure out what actually is going on here. But it's like any Pokemon game. You go around, you take your blank tapes, you record monsters.
Yeah.
And you can there's a fusion system is what it's called.
Right.
Now, I didn't get far enough to see if the fusion system extends beyond just in a battle. Meaning, I don't know if you can fuse two of them outside of battle and you have a brand new creature, but inside of battle, you and your companion or whoever your companions, I'm guessing you'll get more later, but you and your companions can take whatever beast you're using Like I have a moth, or you'll see I have a moth beast, and she has a bird beast or whatever.
Okay.
You get this ability to fuse them, and they become moth bird or both, whatever. They like combine the words.
Okay.
And then you get both powers of each of the beasts, but also you get their all their HP combined, their powers combined, all that type of stuff. See, there it was. I was combined, and now I went apart.
Do you combine each fight or outside of fights?
You have to build up your fusion meter. It's like a limit break.
Got it. Okay.
As far as I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you fight little like trash mobs. When you get to a big fight, then you're like, oh, fusion time, and you become this, combination of beasts, and you hopefully kick whatever ass is in front of you.
Muffnar in my chat says there's 120 monsters, some legendary, some set pieces, and 14,400 fusion combinations. So a lot of ways to fuse the Pokemons or legally distinct Pokemons.
Yes.
Do they just call them monsters? Did you already say what they refer to them as? Or beasts? Beast. Yeah, that's in the title. Duh. Derp. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
But yeah, this is the where you can do like, oh, this is like Japanese inspired, because it feels like Persona, like this particular thing.
Sure.
It talks to you completely differently than anything else. Everything else is like, oh, cutie bat gives you a love bite. Poison. Oh no. And then this is like some esoteric, like older than time, like evil thing. And you're like, oh, this is a change of tone.
Makes sense. It's on PC Game Pass. Otherwise it's $20, I think, on Steam. But yeah, I saw this game was reviewing very well. So when I saw that you played it on Indie Day, I was curious to know how it goes, how it went.
No, I would say that if you like Pokemon, you like this.
Yeah.
Specifically, if you like the Game Boy Pokemons.
The old school Pokemon, not the new school 3D stuff. Cool. Any standouts for you yesterday on Indie Day, whatever you're calling it these days?
Let's see.
I can rattle off the names if that helps.
I mean, there's not really a bunch like standouts.
Was Strayed Lights any good?
I need to take another AFK real quick. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Okay.
Was Strayed Lights any good? Isn't Laura Bailey all over that game? I saw like a interview with. Maybe that was a different light.
Maybe she's the narrator. My chat usually blows up if it's a known name.
I don't think that's right. There's some. For some reason, Strayed Lights is similar to another game that Laura Bailey was in. That's Stray Gods. Okay, yeah, yeah. Different Stray.
I did play Strayed Lights.
Yeah.
I played it for, it looks like 2.5 hours. So I actually gave it more time than I normally give a game.
I don't know what that was. Was that you?
That's my wife. Oh, okay. She was screaming about something, which she is wont to do. But this is another one of those games in like Bramble, where it's the visuals and audio design are just fucking phenomenal. They put a ton of work into it, and it looks gorgeous, sounds gorgeous. The gameplay is action. So like third person action, like Zelda kind of gameplay, with a parry system that in this game, a parry of a move is just as good as damage. So you can choose to combine them or do one or the other. By the end of it, I was choosing like your moments, but I heavily relied on the parry system. Now the parry system is really cool in this mechanically, because you have on the bumpers, you change from red flame to blue flame. So in the battle, the monsters will also change. So you got to match their color and then parry.
Right.
So like they'll do like a red, blue attack. And you got to change and parry while you're doing that. So it's a really cool and fun mechanic.
Cool.
It can be frustrating at times. You can just get womboed by like being one color behind at all times and just have to, go back to the die and go back to a checkpoint or whatever. But it ended up being like when you get it down, it's actually kind of really like fun. And there's a skill that I got that took advantage of it. Like if you match and parry this an entire combo string, then you get like a cool super punch or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So when you get that, you're like, pam, 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 damn, right trigger, boom. Very satisfying.
Cool.
But the thing is, that I ended up doing by the end of the 2.5 hours is just avoiding the trash mobs. I was just running past them because there are upgrades in the game, so like a very minor skill tree. Once I got the things I liked, I didn't feel like I wanted or needed any of that, and that's what the trash mobs are for, is for getting the experience. So I was just like running past trash mobs to go to boss fights, and I'll tell you what, I didn't feel like I missed out. I got to the fights that I liked, which are the prolonged, block parry damage fest that I was enjoying. And the things that you are fighting have it's very like they take after different animals or a combination of animals. Like that guy you just saw throwing rocks at me was like a very primate kind of a guy, like a gorilla, like grabbing up rocks and throwing it at you, or like slamming his hands down and stuff like that. And the boss fights are super fun.
Let's see if I can find one.
Shouldn't be too hard because I kind of skipped all the other things. There you go. This is one. And this one was like, God, I want to say like I don't know. It just felt very animalistic. I'm not sure what kind of animal, but there's a third type of attack, the purple attack, which you just have to dodge. It's like,
it's like red
the one that's unparryable.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're switching back and forth, colors, matching colors, trying to parry. The bar at the bottom is basically their health bar. So once you get that full, you press the left trigger to do like this like light explosion, and then you get like a cool cinematic finish to the fight. Each boss in the game has a couple of phases, so you're not like done after the thing. You like fight the boss, get him down. They either jump away, or you have to chase after him or whatever. So you chase them down, get their second phase, so on and so forth. And they renew or not renew. They add different mechanics for every phase. So like he'll still do this, but he'll add a this.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, it was a really fun play. Apparently, people were telling me that it's not super long. As far as gameplay hours, I think people were saying like 5 hours ish.
Okay.
I'm not like, don't quote me on that, but let's see. How long do you need?
I'll see how much it
strayed lights. There we go.
Where it runs.
6 hours
okay.
is the average on how long to beat. 6 to 7. So it's longer than I thought, but it is gorgeous. It is a really fun environment to play in. You move pretty fast. The overworld movement is pretty quick, but there's a lot of just running from place to place. And if you don't fight like the trash mobs, like I chose not to, it's kind of a hike to get to the next boss.
Okay.
But there are little hidden alcoves, little hidden tunnel paths underneath to get like upgrade light balls is what they are.
Yeah.
And then there's this little hub area. That's where you upgrade your stuff. Oh, sorry. And you can visit that at any time by pressing select. Which I thought was that's a very convenient quality of life thing, where I just got done fighting this guy. I can press select, go spend my points, and go back to the checkpoint and it's usually pretty close to where you were.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. It's $24.99. Is this on Game Pass?
No, it is not. I looked.
It's not. Okay. Yeah, not on Game Pass. Is the soundtrack worth it? You can buy the soundtrack for $5 extra. Was music good?
No, the music was fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, it comes with soundtrack.
Yeah, it's not it's a lot of environmental music. So it's really good, like foresty music, and then you get to the boss fights, so there's like some drums that kick in and stuff like that. But it's not like EDM or poppy.
Yeah.
It's just it fits very well into the game.
Cool.
So you're gonna hear a lot of a lot of drums and a lot of esoteric environmental music, I guess.
Sure.
Environmentally enhancing music.
Makes sense. Anything else from yesterday? What is this first game? Is this like a horror game? What the hell is this? Subject?
This one is called Subject, and I guess I had a knack for picking out games that are relatively short, because this one was an hour long. It's $9, and I played it for an hour. But goddamn, man, it was really, really good for that hour. Like, I just wanted more of it. It was a concise story, but this game in particular does something I love and hate in horror games, where they give you a dark room and one light, and you got to go through the dark to go to the light.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And they do a very good job of setting up just a scary, like, you're waiting for this shit to happen. And they also do a very good job of spacing out jump scares. They do a good job of spacing them out and doing them when you don't expect them.
Right.
They wait a good time for a lull, and they go, okay. You're like, shit, I was relaxed. And it was great. Yeah. This game in particular has a great system that that's the reason why I wanted more of the game. They set you out in an environment, and you go to this place missing a valve. Like, oh shit, I saw a valve back there. And they set it up so you have to go back through it, and they change the environment on you. They're like, you go back through something that looks familiar, but this light is off. This door is open now. And you're like, oh, fuck. So they make backtracking fun.
Yeah.
And scary, which I think a lot of horror games don't take advantage of that as much. It's like the games where I love games where you're looking this way and you're like, okay, that looks like a dead end. And then you turn around, it's like, there's a door that wasn't there before. Like, they make it appear when your back is turned.
Right.
And I love that shit. And they take full advantage of that in this game. They change shit when you're backtracking, and it's great. And I'm sad that it was only an hour.
$9. Price seems about right.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, for an hour-long game. Cool. I haven't really played much else. I don't think Co's played much else. I am curious, and then I think we might wrap a little early. I got to the point in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 where everyone said, like, the big thing happens. And if I remember correctly, when you were talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 3, you said that game got too anime. Am I misquoting you there? Is that correct? Towards the end? Because I said you didn't like the story. Or you didn't...
I didn't really like the ending.
The ending,
but I mean, the game was
like.
always kind of super anime.
Yeah,
and honestly, I'm kind of looking forward to playing the DLC and seeing if that changes things for me.
Okay, because
we'll have to see.
Let me speak in terms without spoilering. I got to the point after the second prison, if that makes sense.
It's been
so long. I would have to spoil it to where it doesn't matter. The game got really depressing out of nowhere.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Like,
yes.
Giga depressing. And I'm sitting there last night like, what the fuck?
I think I know what you're talking about. The game was always kind of depressing, and then it gets like it kind of amps it up a level.
It amps it up to like 20. Where I'm like, it's so depressing. Then like it goes full anime, and there's like this endearing song playing over like very emotional moments happening. I'm just like, what the? I don't have therapy for a couple weeks. This is too much.
Yeah.
Like, it's so depressing. And so that's where I'm at. I think it's like 80% of the way through the game. I want to
definitely finish it at this point. I'm interested to know what you think about the ending.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've also heard really good things about that DLC you mentioned that came out this past week.
I've heard good things too.
People are saying it actually like wraps up the 3 games in a fairly
exactly what I am hoping.
Yeah, concise way. So cool. We're gonna end a little early Co's got some some stuff
Yeah,
happening.
For the record, I've got some RL things happening that I'm trying to deal with. Unfortunately, my house is like totally exposed and open. Not only is there
to
a
the
bunch
elements.
of like yes, to the element. Not only is there a bunch of like half my roof is off, but also a lot of the stonework that normally protects the house is also off. And I have been dealing with water pouring into my closet throughout the course of today and trying to manage that as it basically dissolves my crown molding in there and bubbles up all the paint. It's been quite a thing. And now what people are wondering what's been going on down here. Well, I am below my closet here in my computer room. And when I first removed my headphones earlier, it was because I can hear water dripping on my ceiling here in my studio. So, you know, I got some stuff I got to go deal with.
Well,
like a little busy.
If I may relieve some of your stress, I think that if you have a British style house, I think a water closet is a normal fixture in one of those.
You son of a bitch.
That's perhaps the appropriate response. I
think that's pretty great.
Yeah. It's all good. Next week, we'll be talking Redfall. Redfall's a big release coming up this week. Yeah. I think me and Co are both checking that out. We'll see how it goes. What else? And then, 2 weeks from, I should note this before we do shoutouts. 2 weeks from today, which is May the 14th, we will most likely not do a show. If we do
I won't be able to be here.
Co won't be here. It's also the weekend that Zelda comes out. And Zeke's not going to be playing that. So
that's going to be the Diablo 2 then. Oh, man.
Diablo 4 weekend, is
beta
that weekend as well. So,
jeez, dude, what a weekend.
Might do a Zelda show.
Do you want to call both of our moms, JP, and just have them call into the show?
Do they play Zelda? What do you mean? Oh, because it's Mother's Day.
Wow.
I didn't make that connection. I was just like...
JP, stop trying to take my job, JP. I'm the coolest one on the show, all right?
Do they play Zelda, though? Because, I mean, I'd love to have them on the show. We could
asking the real questions here.
Get them on here and talk to them about that. Let's do some shout-outs and wrap it up. Zeke, what do you got going on? Tell everyone.
You bet. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Co and JP for being here. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at /Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. I broadcast video games every day at 10 a.m. except for Monday, which is my day off, which is tomorrow. But on Tuesday, I'm gonna try out some War Tales on stream. Nice. I played a little bit of it on my own, and I kind of got accustomed to like the basic mechanics of the game, and I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a blast, and I'm gonna name characters after people in chat and stuff like that. So hopefully, I actually am excited because I stopped myself from playing it so I could play it on stream, but I really want to play it, which is funny. So yeah, that's what's coming up for me. And then Thursday we got a 100-month game. We're gonna play some Lost Odyssey, the old 360 game. We're gonna play that. So
nice,
fun week ahead. So thanks for watching.
Fantastic stuff. That game, by the way, might be the slowest RPG I've ever played. Starts off very strong, but man, does it slow down after that. So,
really? You'll feel right at home.
Maybe 2 days, two streams will be enough of it.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Co, some shout outs.
Absolutely. My name is Co. Hi. Thank you all so much for watching. I will be tonight on my channel, not Co Carnage, doing some side stuff in Jedi Knight Survivor. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Tomorrow's probably going to be more of the same. I do want to make a return to War Tales soon as well. We got lots of fun stuff coming up next week as we do Redfall and some other games too. So hope to see you there. As always, thank you for your support, and I will catch you next week if I don't see you on the channel.
Awesome stuff. That'll do it.
Real quick before you go, Co, on your side channel, is your emote code the same?
I do not have a sub button on my side channel yet.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to stream for 7 days, 7 different days to apply for affiliate, and then.
Okay.
We got to go through that whole process, and who knows how that's going to go these days.
I don't think it's I don't think it's going to happen. You got to.
Well, it's more of it's kind of funny because it's like your follow goal is 50. You have 42,300. So it's I think I'll make affiliate. I'm hoping I'll.
We'll see.
But that being said, I have no clue when I'm going to make affiliate. With this Twitch, how it is and the layoffs and stuff, I think they're still trying to figure out positions over there. So I have no idea what the queue's like or how long it's going to be. Yeah. I'm going through all the standard. I'm not getting any special treatment. I'm just going through all the standard things. So
yeah,
it could be a while, but I don't know what it's going to be yet. We'll see what's available, and go from there.
We'll see. All right. Thanks everyone so much for watching the old drop frames. We'll be back next week talking Redfall and get an update on Co's house, I guess. Make sure everything's not underwater.
Hopefully we'll have a better update next week, man.
Yeah.
I tell you, we've got a few days of sun, so I'm cautiously optimistic. And and thankfully the contractors know everything that messes up now they got to fix. So hopefully there'll be a little bit of a fire under their butts. We'll see.
Well,
we'll see.
Good luck with all that. I do not envy you. That is a mess.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So.
Thank you very much. We are very ready for all this to be wrapped up and finished. So we'll see.
We're out of here. Thanks for watching the old drop frames. We'll see you next week, 1 p.m. Eastern for more. Bye-bye.